In the previous episode, we know who Wayne was. At this time, the armies of the demons were very spread across the country. This boy had great power, but he hid it from humans. He loved humans so much and he loved doing good. We also know that the commander of the king's armies was originally Satan and wanted to kill the king. He took him to this place and he was going to kill him. But Al arrived in time. Al was able to eliminate him with ease. The king then offered to work with them at the palace, but he refused. Let's get started.
I am the ghost of Uchiha.
The episode begins with Al and Princess when they find the ghost of the child at this grave. Al talked to him and the princess is afraid when she sees no one. Then Al knows he sees a ghost. The ghost tells him, "I'm Ray, and I was waiting for someone to talk to me." Al told him, "I already see you." The princess is trying to see something, but she can't see anyone. And Ray says, "From wherever I come from, this robe looks very like my robe." Al replied to him and said, "This robe Helen gave me. She works as a receptionist for the Adventurers Union." Ray told him that this robe was given to him by his father because he was imbued with the defensive magic he learned from his father. They understand that he's the only one who can see him because he's wearing the robe. I take the princess under this robe too to see who Al is talking to. The princess is surprised by what she saw and fears and calmed her down until he understands what happened. Ray talks and says he's Helen's brother and she's the only one who survived there. And he said, "You can explain your words more because Helen lost her memory when she was little." Helen's answer went through very difficult days. And it certainly all affected her. So she lost her memory because she didn't understand everything that happened to her. And now she's in very high danger, so I want you to help her quickly. He completes his speech and says when the city was normal, nothing happened to it. Helen and I were playing, and then I wanted to work out, and I fell on the floor, and Helen told me not to pressure myself any longer so you wouldn't get hurt. I told her I wanted to be a brave warrior and that if something happened to me, it would be a great honor for me. And why are you worried about this way? And she told him, "You were my little brother and I had to worry about you." He told her I was now a man. At this time a black aura appears covering the whole city, and then a very large dragon appears that kills any living object it sees. And when he kills humans, he absorbs their negative energy and fear and becomes stronger than he was. At this time, they find their house destroyed and their parents killed. When they look at the sky, they find a terrifying dragon attacking a mother and her children and eating them all. Ray agrees with their sister to run away before I reach the evil dragon. On their way, the dragons get in their way. Helen remains afraid of him and has not moved. Her brother told her we should escape now. Dragon blocked them again to run away. She said to her little brother to run away and leave her, but he refused. This time the dragon gets to them and tells them, "This is your end. This is the best time I can eat you because of your fear and dismay at me." The dragon attacks Helen and her brother rescues her by beating him with his little knife. But nothing happened and tell him, "This knife will not affect me. And since you're brave, I'll eat you first." And the dragon attacks me and kills him. Ray asks his sister to run away quickly before he kills her too. But she cries so hard at her brother. The dragon said to her, "I would leave you alive until I returned in 15 years, destroying the entire city." Her brother answered and said he would not let her even if her protectors died. And he said, "The dragon doesn't speak so bold, it's going to be days and you see what I do." Then the dragon disappears. And Ray dies and his sister keeps crying at him. We see Al and Princess and Ray's ghost and Ray tell them that this dragon it attacks any country where one person is left alive. To tell the rest of the people about him and his great power. Until he sleeps and when he wakes up after a while, he kills everyone. He told Al why he would do so. Ray said so that the people of the city would still be afraid of him because they didn't know when to come. It feeds on the horror of the people and his power is more than double what he was. He is now targeting Helen's sister and the rest of the parents and wants to eliminate them. So I want you to rush to their rescue and I want you to fight him bravely and hopefully not show him your despair so that he doesn't increase his strength. I'm sure you can do it. Then the princess and the beat up because this day marks the day the dragon said. They must speed up and think about what they are doing. They get to the castle and the princess says you have to learn to handle girls. I'm going to talk to the soldiers to examine the evacuees inside the castle and prepare for the Ouroboros attack, and you care about Helen. Then Helen walks in, but she doesn't find it, and she's surprised she doesn't exist, and she wonders where she went. And with Helen F the jungle with her the sword with her breadwinners and so fearful and so suddenly the dragon shows her and says it's been a long time. 15 years and I have the first time I show you? I promised you I was coming to your dead and your cowardly companions. Helen lit up and gave and said it all because of me. Brothers died. The dragon laughs with his sarcasm and says he could have escaped, but you were obstructing him. And he says that people will die again because you're here. And because of you and your fear, I'm the death of all your friends. Helen says I'm the reason and people will die. She said kill me. The dragon agrees and floods it with fear and says it's as much fear as you have very high. The dragon fanatics say whether you live it or not I die, burn, crush and hear their fear. We intimidate the princess by organizing the soldiers to guard the fortress from the dragon. And by speaking herself and saying, take your mind from yourself, Al. We return to the dragon and wait for Helen to die herself. And Helen says forgive me, Ray. I'm sorry. You sacrificed yourself for me and I killed myself. But the hero comes on time and saves it. The dragon is shocked and said who are you? That was the moment the dragons attacked Al and swipe him strong and fly away but Al got nothing. Amazing. The magic robe saved me. The dragon is surprised that why you are still alive after receiving this powerful beating. Are you human? Al runs and says yes I am a human and a farmer and hits the dragon. And Helen says get away, Al. He said no, I'm here to save you. The dragon wakes up again and Al says you're strong and I can't beat you easily. He says to Helen, but Helen fears for him and says don't worry. I'll protect you. And her brother thinks why she said the same word and died. Helen was given and was very fearful. At that moment, the dragon attacks Al, but he tackles his blows, strikes him hard, and uses the firepower of his breed, but Al avoids it and throws him away. Helen worries about him and says don't be afraid I will never die so easily. I will eliminate this ugly dragon and attack the dragon again with fire. Helen tells him to run. I don't want anyone to die again. Al said not because of you. She said no 15 years ago, my brothers died because of my fear of dragons. He interrupts her and says that her brother desperate for her is happy and necessary to recall her memories, and they also have no regrets that he died and saved her and wishes her a happy and proud Becky. And as long as we don't surrender, we'll never die. Specifically, Aurorpus's weakness. The dragon appears and speaks to Helen and says it has no solution to grief, pain, and despair. Then he notices that his strengths are declining. Al says as I expected. You eat people's fear and turn it into strength and hope weakens your strength and tell him I'm not afraid of you. At this moment the dragon is fanatical, saying I'm gonna kill you because you got in my way. Al attacks all his strength and courage on the dragon, strikes him hard, and eliminates him, and Al says his points are down so I'm strong now. Suddenly, Helen is hitting Al with the knife. And her features change eerily. So, we're done today. Wait for us tomorrow to see the exciting parts and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the alert button to see more exciting anime.